What's up, pretty gang? It's your favorite nail tech Peaches back with another video. Today I'm going to talk about almond nails, specifically shaping and structure. I'm going to show you how I do them and to get a really nice result. This is just application alone, and then you guys are going to see shaping. If you're interested in more mentorship, don't forget to become extra pretty by clicking the join button to join my channel memberships. Here are some of the perks, and for those of you really interested in keeping in contact with me, I do have a group chat for those members. Okay, so here is the color we're using. Of course, I have a coupon code for those who want to save money, and I'm pretty sure that is all the disclaimers that I've got going. Okay, so I'm going to actually show you guys a couple of fingers of application, and then I'm going to show you guys shaping with the e-file as well as using the hand file. So pretty much when you are doing almond nails, the things that you are worrying about the most is the structure and the overall shape. When we are doing application, we need to make sure that our apex area is not very large. This is similar to the video that I did about short nails. We're kind of following a similar structure here because this type of shape is very slender and very slim. You don't need a very large apex just because the slimmer the shape, the less surface area, which means the less strength, which means we just don't need a larger apex. However, because this shape is very slim, and because there's less surface area, like I mentioned, there is less, what did I just say? There's less strength. There we go. There's less strength, which means these type of nails and stiletto nails and things of that nature are more prone to breaking if you're not careful. So this is how we avoid that. You want to get a nice sized bead. Okay, we're going to lay that down just like we did for short nails. It's okay if you want to do this in multiple beads, that's fine. But either way, you want to take the largest bead and you want that to be right where the natural nail and the nail tip meet. Now, if you're doing this in one bead like I am, you're going to let it set for a second and then you're going to kind of tuck in the cuticles and you're going to let the rest kind of fall down. Now, what you see is me tapping and patting in certain areas while I'm letting the acrylic kind of dry on its own. The thing is, you want this to not be as stiff as when you're doing square or something like that, because the thing is, you need to have a flexibility enough to maneuver around the curve in the front, right? We have a rounded edge. So you guys can see how I started off a little wetter than normal, but as I'm letting the acrylic dry and I'm letting it kind of fall down, I'm able to maneuver that tip area like I just did. You guys just watched me. And then I'm putting that acrylic back to use and I'm pretty much putting it into the nail for strength. Now, I can understand how this seems like a really in-depth, more advanced technique and maneuver, and to a certain extent it is. So this is why I say if you need to do this in 2 beads, then go ahead and do that. That's fine. What I just showed you, just think about doing this 1 bead that I did in, you know, just the first portion of the nail, and then how I'm going into the cuticle area and just pretty much do it like that. Okay, but when we are in the cuticle area, in the apex area, you guys can see it is not a large apex at all. We are going to make sure we have that little speed bump like I always mention. We want it to have a slight build up to the apex area, and I personally feel like it's best to have the apex area kind of flatten out and smooth out so the rest of the nail is all one solid thickness. Okay, so here we go again. If you're going to do this in 1 bead, that's fine. If you're not, you can still lay the bead down similarly to where I'm putting it. Okay, and what we're going to do is, you see I'm letting it set a little bit. If you're not familiar with that term, that means I'm just letting it polymerize and harden. Okay, now we don't want it to be out of control, so this is why we are going to immediately we don't want to overwork it, but we do want to keep it in the bounds of the tip. So if you're going to do this in 2 beads, instead of pushing this directly into the cuticle area, you will kind of flatten that top part out so that later we can go in and properly apply our cuticle bead, but you will still drag and tap and pull the rest down. Now, we don't want to use swiping motions. You see how I'm more like patting and tapping? If we use swiping motions, then what's going to happen is our enhancement is going to be too thin, because essentially you are going to be swiping away all of the acrylic. This is why I said we need a really nice, decent sized bead, and we're going to let it dry down some so that way we're not just swiping off all of the strength that we want to put into the nail. So we're going to focus on patting around the edges just like I'm doing here, so that way we can maintain our rounded tip. Now keep in mind, whatever you shape the tip to be, when you lay the acrylic on there, it's not going to be the exact same shape, and that's okay because we still have to file later on. Okay, What we want to accomplish is again, the strength into the nail. We want to have a nice smooth application. We don't want too much bulkiness in the cuticle area, just like normal. And then we want to make sure that tip is nice and smooth. We want it pointing in the right directions, okay? So again, this is the last nail I'm pretty much gonna do. You guys see me. I am laying down that bead, letting it dry some, but keeping the acrylic to the bounds that we have set with the nail tip. And I'm going all around and tapping and patting and doing that. At no point do you guys see me swiping. That is going to be pretty much a very easy mistake, especially for this shape, because you will not have enough strength. Okay, so you guys see me. The acrylic is dry enough that I can maneuver, but still wet enough that I can go in and shape to the nail tip, okay? Now, if you're having trouble with the thickness of the nail, you can just think of it as, we don't want it to be as thick as a brick, okay? We don't want the apex to just immediately start and then the rest is extremely thick, because that's dangerous. We pretty much, like I said, we want a slight build up to the apex in the front, okay, with a flush cuticle area, and we just want the rest to be the same thickness as once we get to our apex area. Now you guys can see I'm having a little bit of a hard time maneuvering all the acrylic around, so I just kind of had to use a little bit harder of a patting motion to kind of reel that in. But don't be nervous if this part is not perfect for you. You really just want to worry about, okay, do I have the strength that I need? If it's not the exact thickness, or if it's not the exact shape, that's okay, because we're going to get into the shaping and the filing in just a second. All right. Now, if you need help getting bigger beads, I have videos for that. And some of you guys might need to start using slightly bigger brushes, because I'm telling you, a size 10 is really, really small to do these type of techniques. So we are now going to get into the filing and shaping. This portion is going to be for debulking. As you guys will see, we have a couple of areas that we want to focus on: the apex area, the cuticle area, and the sidewall, which are in these areas right here. Now, the cuticle area is what's going to be closest to the skin, okay? And the apex area is going to be right above that. The sidewall area is literally going to be on the sides of the nail, especially right here, you guys see. So why we want to focus on these areas is because, again, we need the cuticle area to be really flush, and we need the apex to kind of ramp up, like I said, a speed ramp, as you guys can see. And then we need the sidewalls right here in this area to not be bulky. This is the area, especially what all three of these areas combined are very, very similar space. These are the areas where I find that it hinders people from getting the really slender, dainty almond that they crave, okay, and that they want. If you see most clients' complaints about the almond shape, or, oh, I didn't get the shape that I wanted, or I didn't get the stiletto that I wanted, a lot of it has to do with bulkiness. So if you talk to your clients and ask them about past experiences, or, oh, how come you didn't like your shape before, I guarantee you, if it's not the physical shape of the whole entire nail, it's going to be the bulkiness. So these are the areas that we need to focus on while finished filing, okay? I do have other shaping and filing videos on my channel. You guys can check that out if you need extra help. So now we are going to go ahead and get into the actual filing, which using the hand file is going to give us our perfected shape. Now, the focus that we want to do in this area is the apex, the surface, and the sidewalls. Now, you guys can see it's pretty much the same as before, except for when I talk about the surface, I'm talking about the whole over top view of the nail. So with the sidewalls, you guys can see, you want the nail file to go all the way up. You see, all the way up there. So that way, when you are filing, you get that slender look. You guys can see I'm going over top of the nail on the surface, and this is what's going to decrease lumps and bumps, as well as give us that smooth transition from the apex to the rest of the nail without looking like everything is actually as thick as the apex. All right. So again, you guys are seeing me turn my hand in different ways that you might not have to do for a square, but you're going to have to do for an almond shape or even a stiletto shape. Now, I did flip the bitch up out of my hand when I tried to file this, and we're just going to pick it up like it never even happened. So you guys can see with the tip, I am wanting that nice rounded slender shape. Now, when people ask for almond, I typically will give them the almond that I see best fit for their own finger, because keep in mind, everyone has different shaped nail beds. Everyone has different sized fingers, and we have to accommodate for all of that. So you guys are seeing that I'm double checking. You see me in the apex area. I want to go over top of the whole nail and in the apex area to make sure everything is nice and smooth. I'm honestly really excited to put this video out, because as soon as someone asked me the other day, I put out the short nails video. Someone asked me about a rounded nail. Granted, it was a short rounded nail, but then the next day someone came in wanting almond nails. So I was like, you know what? This is a perfect way to go ahead and express that. All of these techniques can be used for those who want an actual long round nail or just a round nail in general, because round and almond are so similar. But you guys see me pretty much getting the look that I want. She was super duper happy with these nails. She's actually a regular of mine, and she liked the almond that I did last time when she had a slightly shorter nail, so she wanted to go ahead and go longer. But all in all, the point of this video is to help you guys achieve a nice structure. I know this video seems like it was a little fast-paced, and for those who are beginners, I do apologize for that. But again, joining my channel memberships will allow you to ask all these type of questions in our group chat and allow me to do FaceTime calls, or rather Instagram video calls, so that we can further discuss. Okay, so again, here is the shape and structure. Here is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and notifications on, and I'll see you guys in the next video.